Hello and welcome to the RotoWire Esports Show. My name is Ethan Sexton, and here with me, as always, DFS Chan. Chan, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you, Ethan?
Not too bad, man. Can't complain. It was a pretty fun 5-game slate this morning, man.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and look back a little bit on it. Start over in the LCK. The first series, not much to talk about here. Good call by you, though, Damwon. Sweeping aside DRX, the only concern there was going to be, were they going to get enough kills? And it turned out they were perfectly fine, picking up 44 across the 2 games. Just a dominant one-sided sweep as we expected, right?
Yeah. And Damwon, has started to gain form again, and I mean, it was it was the medicine the doctor just ordered. I feel like Damwon, just playing against DRX racked up a lot of kills, as we kind of talked about on the last video. So. Yeah, Damwon scored well, and hopefully, people played a lot of Damwon yesterday.
Yeah, they were the team you really wanted. One of the teams you really wanted, anyway. The second series in the LCK, Chan, T1 and Sandbox, with Sandbox pulling off a really good week here, closing things out on their end with a 2-1 win over T1.
Yeah. I feel like Sandbox, has been playing well. And T1 has been playing well too, but I just feel like, Sandbox had a better day today. And it was a fairly close series. I mean, Game 1 was dominated by Sandbox, and then Game 2 was dominated by T1. And then Game 3, I think it ended at 14 each kills. So I think that it was just around the objective dragon, the Soul Dragon fight that really determined the fight, determined the game, in my opinion. So, just like that other LPL game that we talked about the other day, came down to that one last team fight. So it was a fairly close series. Both teams will make the playoffs, and both teams will be fairly good, in my opinion. So we'll see how it goes. But Sandbox was a better team today.
Yeah, the LCK is really getting bunched up at the top, man. You got Nongshim 10-3, Genji 9-3. Damwon, Kia, and Sandbox are both 8-5. T1 is 8-6. So I mean, right there's 5 teams that at certain points of the year have been really good. 5 teams that are going to be competing for that title in the playoffs. So it's going to make things pretty interesting once we get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, jumping over to the LPL, they kicked off their slate with Rare Atom versus Ultra Prime. This went pretty much how we thought it would as well, with Rare Atom picking up a sweep. They got to 35 kills, which isn't bad. It's not, we would like to see 40 plus, but 35 is decent. But this was basically what we thought it would be. You didn't really need to have Rare Atom in your lineup to do well today.
Right, exactly. And I feel like today also Rare Atom players' kill participation percentage was not very good for some of the carries. So that's kind of why, even if you thought that Rare Atom 35 kill is pretty good, but not all players were participating in those 35 kills. So, that's kind of how it worked out against Ultra Prime. And it happens against, inferior opponents like this. So that's another thing to kind of, think about if you are playing the big favorite, whether they're just going to dominate in their lane. We call it lane kingdom. So whether, they're going to, dominate their lanes and just win it that way, just so they don't have to win as many team fights. And that's really not good for DFS purposes. So. Yeah,
for sure. Not much more to say about that one, I guess, Chan. We'll jump to the series in the LPL today. RNG picking up a 2-1 win over JD Gaming. They dominated Game 1, and then JD Gaming came back, dominated Game 2, forcing the Game 3. But then RNG took control of Game 3 pretty fast and closed out the 2-1 win. Just RNG still on the ascension. JD Gaming, it just kind of feels like if Kanavi's not going to carry them to victory, then they're not going to win. It just feels like Loken, Yagao, Zoom, they're just not what they once were. They're not dominating like they once were. And it just feels like if Kanavi's not going to be able to carry them to a win, well, then they're not going to win.
Yeah, I agree. And, Kanavi cannot have a carry game every game. So
right.
And he actually did carry in Game 1, even though they lost. I know he pulled out a lot of cool champions lately, as because obviously they're banning against him in his champion pool, and he's playing Kha'Zix today, Nidalee, and Graves. So obviously 3 different champions, and a few of these are not in the meta right now, but obviously he makes them look really good either way. But yeah, I mean, you were right about RNG though, Ethan. That was a really good call by you. So RNG is in really good form. They're going to be a very scary team coming to the playoffs. I know they're not going to be as high of a seed as they were in the spring split, but nobody up top is going to want to play him. So because RNG, with that experience and the same roster from the MSI and from winning the spring split, we'll see what happens. So, I mean, I really think their ceiling is very high, as we saw in the MSI. And, I mean, they're going to be a scary team.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think any of the top seeds are going to be looking forward to playing them in the playoffs. But, yeah, I mean, for me, it was just siding with RNG because they've been in such great form lately. And, JDG have been pretty good, but they've been a little more up and down compared to RNG, who got off to that horrible start after MSI, but have been great lately. So that's the only reason I went there. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if JD Gaming had won this one 2-1 either. So it was definitely a close series. And then, Chan, the last series of the day was Team WE taking out EDG 2-0. It feels like EDG just wanted to give JJ a series off here after their last series. Clear Love, he came in. We were talking before we started recording. He wasn't like horrible or anything, but he wasn't really very good either. And then instead of letting him finish the series or bringing in JJ, they brought in Junjia, who hadn't played since the spring. I think we just need to write this off as EDG giving JJ a break, and hopefully he'll come back and this team will be fine. I don't think it's much more than a blip in the road, but good call by you to pick out WE in our video yesterday and go with them. They end up with the sweep and just reaching 40 kills.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes in the League of Legends DFS careers that we play and compete in, we get gems like this and free plays like this, I feel like. And I was telling you earlier before the video started, but it turns out after the game, after the series is over, they were singing happy birthday to Clear Love, the fans and the commentators and everybody. So it turns out kind of they were just wishing Clear Love a happy birthday, and maybe it was just basically a happy birthday gift for him. But yeah, I mean, like you said, he played game one and he didn't even play a champion that's in the meta. I mean, he just played Sejuani. Yep. He could be in the meta, I suppose, but I just feel like it was not the most effective champion for that team, in my opinion. And he did not look good, like we kind of anticipated. And then, like you said, at game two, Junjia started, and yeah, JJ maybe needed a day off, like you said, and we'll see what happens from here. But I fully expect JJ to be back, starting the next series. And we mentioned this, but EDG is in the first place. So I just feel like they had a game to spare to kind of experiment like this or give a game off to their main jungler. So, but yeah, I'm not buying too much into this, and I'm not really even also on the other side of the matchup. I'm not even giving that much credit to WE. I feel like it was just like a one-off game for both teams. So we'll see what happens from here.
I kind of feel like if JJ comes back and he's fine, whatever. I don't know if something's going on or they just wanted to give him a day off. Like we said, we're speculating. But I feel like if these two played in a best of 5, I would heavily favor EDG. So we'll see if that ends up happening in the playoffs. But for today, it was good for WE. Chan, let's go ahead and we'll jump into tomorrow's 5-game slate. Kicking things off with a matchup between LGD and LNG. So LNG 8-4, they're in 4th place in the LPL, and LGD after their hot start, they're 6-7. Crashing out of the playoff spot here. They're down in 12th place. So I feel like, LNG are minus 185 favorites. So it's pretty close in terms of the odds. I don't mind LGD in an upset spot here, but I feel like LNG will probably win. But I do feel like if LNG end up winning, it's going to be a bit of a slower series.
Yeah.
Tell me.
No, yeah, I agree. It's gonna be a bit slower series, and I know LNG is going back to their main starters, except for the top lane. I know they're going back to Light and Nwandi in the bottom lane, as you can see on the screen on the RotoWire starting lineup website, and then Mikuya is subbing in for Ale in the top lane, and Ale was really dominant in my opinion. He's been one of the best top laners in the LPL in my opinion. But yeah, Mikuya is starting, Light and Awandi are starting, so I don't know, what's going on there. They're not bringing back, I guess, the development players from the LPL development league in the bottom lane. Kadaya and LP, I feel like they weren't horrid. I mean, they weren't that bad.
Right.
But I just feel like, I guess they just want to go back to Light and Awandi. And yeah, I'm with you though. I feel like I like LNG in this spot. I think it can go either way because LNG has been in bad form and then LGD has been in bad form. But the fact that they're just going back to their, starters, Light and Awandi, who frankly I thought were playing better as when they got benched. So I just feel like they're going to be, come more motivated and maybe they'll bring back that, good form that they were in. So I like LNG's chances here. I think they're deservedly the favorite. But yeah, for DFS purposes, yeah, I mean, this is the second game on the slate amongst the 5 games. And in July games, they've been both playing faster. So yeah, I like to target this game. You just need to get, the match winner correctly, but I like LNG's chances here.
Yeah, I think I got to side with LNG too, but I really don't have a problem if anyone wants to take a shot with LGD. I think they're a live underdog, but I think I do have to side with LNG here tomorrow. Moving on to the first game in the LCK tomorrow, Chan, we've got Gen G going up against Afrika. Gen G, they lost earlier in the week. They're 9-3, second place in the LCK. They can go level joint top with Nongshim if they win tomorrow. And Afrika 6-6. Holding on to that last playoff spot in 6th place. To me, I feel like Clid will come back after we saw Young Jay and they lost. I feel like they'll go back to Clid. I think you agree. We were talking a little before we started recording. And if they do that, I feel like this is a Gen G win. But, the same questions we always have, right, with Gen G. If they win, are they going to be useful for DFS?
Yeah, except I don't think so. I mean, I know Gen G is probably – I haven't looked at DK pricing yet, but I'm guessing they're underpriced again as a favorite. But, yeah, just playing against Afrika. Afrika is one of the slowest teams so far in the split. Especially in July, their combined kills per minute metric has gone down as well. So, they've been playing slower. And Gen G has been playing faster in July games. But I just feel like combined with Afrika's pace, I just don't like this game. And actually, the combined kills per minute for this matchup, combining both teams' metric, Gen G and Afrika, carries the lowest and the slowest game pace amongst all five games here. So, yeah, I think that this definitely a full fade on me for Afrika. I'm not even considering Afrika as a full GPP or anything remotely consideration. For Gen G, yeah, I feel like Gen G, given the pricing and also they're the favorite, they're definitely worth a cash consideration. So, yeah, I do think Gen G will win here. I know they're the, biggest LCK favorite.
Yep.
So, yeah, I like Gen G's spot here, except I just don't know if they're going to score well, have much kill upside.
Yeah, their Gen G are minus 260 favorites, which is the 3rd biggest favorite in terms of the odds. But on DraftKings, they're priced as the 4th highest favorite. So you do get a little bit of salary savings as per usual with them. But for good reason, like you said, because they're always a little bit slower, it tends to feel. Jumping back to the LPL, we've got OMG going up against Bottom Dwellers Victory 5. Victory 5, 0-11 on the year, 17th place, dead last. They're pretty rough. And OMG, even though they've been pretty rough themselves lately after their great start, they're 6-6, 11th place in the LPL. Chan, OMG have been really bad lately, but have they been bad enough to lose to Victory 5?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I feel like this is the spot for Victory 5. It could be it. This could be the spot where they could get it, but no, I'm with you at the end. I just feel like looking at the stats and looking at the metrics, OMG dominates in all categories: jungle control, Baron, dragon percentage. So I just feel like OMG, should take care of business as the biggest favorite here. And they play so fast too. I know Victory 5 has been playing slower. So it's kind of interesting to see what's going to happen there, in terms of kill upside. I know OMG's kill pace has been just lights out in July. They're over 1.03. So obviously that is just, a kill every minute. So I mean that's really fast and it's really bloody. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'll definitely have OMG in my lineups, some of my lineups. Now Victory 5, I'm not quite sure. I'll probably have one or two Victory 5 lineups, I think, just because I think their kill upside is also high, just given the fact that they're playing against OMG. So I just like, I like their chances, and given, OMG also has been playing playing horribly in bad form. I think Victory 5 definitely has a shot to upset OMG. But at the end of the day, I just feel like I'm going to have much more exposure to OMG players than Victory 5 players.
Yeah, you do have to pay up for OMG. Either OMG or Top Esports are the most expensive in every single role on this slate. So you do have to pay up, but it does feel like a spot where I wouldn't mind doing that at all. But I do like your line of thinking too. Why not make one hedge lineup with V5? They're going to be low owned because they're awful. And OMG have been in pretty bad form overall. So even though we both think this probably ends up as a 2-0 for OMG, a hedge lineup with V5 isn't the craziest idea, right? So give it a shot if you're feeling kind of dangerous. Why not? Yeah, the last game over in the LPL is on paper it feels like a good one when you look at the team names, but it's a Top Esports team who have been playing quite well, taking on an Invictus Gaming team who have been playing quite poorly. So IG 4-7. 13th place in the LPL, and Top Esports 7-4, 6th place in the LPL. Like I said, Top Esports are expensive here, but they're also the second biggest favorite on this slate after OMG. And I just think with the form they've been in, the form IG have been in, I think I wouldn't mind paying up for Top Esports here. Although I'm not sure I would long stack Chan. And we'll have to see what you think about this, but I feel like, we talked about this after their last series, that it's basically the night show every single series. So I feel like, I want to get Knight into my lineups, but I'm not that excited to get the rest of these players in there.
Yeah, I agree. Knight definitely needs to be prioritized. Actually, I'm going to have probably Top Esports in about like 90% of my lineups. I feel like they're in the smash spot. The combined kills per minute for this matchup actually scores fairly well. I know they actually have the highest combined kills per minute metric amongst all 5 games. So, yeah, I mean, this is the marquee matchup for DFS purposes to target. Now, can Invictus Gaming upset Top Esports? It could, but I just don't like that their chances here. Just given, like you said, Ethan, I mean, given their recent form, I just feel like Top Esports should take care of business. And they're playing against a fairly, well-known and reputable team in IG. It's not like they're playing against Rogue Warriors like last series where they're probably, looking down and, they're playing down to Rogue Warriors level. I feel like they're going to show up just playing against the fact that they're playing against IG. I think Top Esports will, bring their A game. But yeah, the pace is really good, actually. Invictus Gaming's July games metric has gone up significantly to 0.93. So I know they've been losing a lot of games, but I guess they've been also giving up a lot of deaths every minute. So I like Top Esports kill upside there. I think that's a huge bump. I know Top Esports has been carrying 0.88 for all of their games in the split and also in July games identically. So I like Top Esports here in the smash spot to win 2-0.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. It's just this is the spot where IG will screw people, though. So, if you want to take a shot on IG, I don't hate it, but it's hard for me to imagine just the way these two teams have been playing that it's anything other than a Top Esports win. So I'm definitely on board with that, and I'm glad you mentioned the uptick in pace for Top Esports because that would make me more likely to actually play a long stack here potentially.
Yeah, but you're right about the fact that, I mean, these two teams, Top Esports and Invictus Gaming, I mean, two of the most volatile, teams so far in the split. So Yeah, I mean, really, it can go anywhere, but I just feel like, top esports in the smash spot. And plus, they're not the biggest favorite, frankly, on the slate. OMG is. So I
Yep.
think we're going to get some discount here for top esports players. So I like that about for pricing purposes.
Yeah, for sure. So if you get a little bit of a discount on top, then that's not a bad thing in this matchup, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
The final matchup of the day, Chan, we got Hanwha Life going up against Fredit Brion. Both these teams pretty weak. Fredit Brion 5-8, 8th place in the LCK. Hanwha Life 4-8, 9th place in the LCK. I'm going to assume that Arthur or Johan will come back in instead of Willer after Hanwha Life lost with Willer earlier in the week. But your guess is as good as mine there. This matchup, man, it feels like this is the one that might as well not even be on the slate. But is there any interest for DFS purposes for you?
This actually grades a little bit faster than the Genji Africa game. So,
okay.
I mean, but it's much, much slower. Like today's both of the LCK games grade much, much slower compared to all 3 LPL games. So it might be an LPL slate today. Where you stack LPL teams, whether favorite or underdog. So that's why I said I like top esports here. I just feel like there's not really another LCK team to target for GPP purposes. I know Genji will be very popular for cash considerations, but for Hanwha Life and Brion, I'm probably not gonna even consider them for GPP considerations. I know Hanwha tends to score well, and also Brion is probably going to score better than usual. The fact that they're playing against Hanwha Life, who's been giving up a lot of deaths lately. But I just feel like it might be a matchup to fully fade, like you said. Because the other LCK game, I mean, we're getting Genji at discount and for cash considerations. But yeah, I mean, if I had to make a prediction though on this game, I like Fredit Brion. I know Hanwha has been struggling a lot now, subbing in the new jungler last game, and like you said, who knows what's going to happen there at that position for this game. But Brion has been a more consistent team, believe it or not. I know they probably, are the second worst team other than DRX so far in the split, or just in the LCK in general. But it's just that Hanwha Life has been so volatile and so unpredictable. And I feel like late in the split like this, at this point in the split, I trust more consistency over the upside. And given how close the talent gap is between these two players, other than Chovy in the mid lane, I just feel like Brion matches up pretty well against Hanwha Life here. So I'll take Brion in an upset. But for DFS purposes, I don't know if I'll play any of these 2 teams.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. I do think, man, like it just feels so bad for Chovy, like to be on this Hanwha Life team. But we'll see where he ends up next year, I guess, because they're not going anywhere fast. Chan, it's a pretty good 5-game slate again. We really like these 5-game slates. Anything else you want to touch on before we go?
No, I think it's another night slate for top esports. I love top esports here. I know I've been against them and gotten wrong, many times, but I just feel like against Invictus Gaming, that's an exception I'll make. I just feel like top esports will show up and smash Invictus Gaming in their mouth. But yeah, OMG has the biggest favorite. I don't know if they'll score well, just given the fact that they're playing against Victory 5, who's been playing slower in the LPL in the split. But OMG should be in a smashing spot too, except they've been in bad form. So I mean, there's a chance that Victory 5 could even upset OMG. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, for sure. It's an interesting one. Should be a good one. If you guys have enjoyed this video, give us a like and subscribe to the channel down below. Keeps you up to date on when we're going to live and all that good stuff. If you want to check out RotoWire, you can go to rotowire.com/try for a free 10-day trial, no credit card required. And then once you're signed up, you can go to rotowire.com/chat, and that'll give you instructions on how to join the subscriber-only Discord server. Definitely jump in there. We're always in there chatting, answering questions, all that good stuff. So check out the links below this video, and they'll get you where you need to be. Chan, thank you as always, man. Looking forward to the slate. Good 5-gamer. I'll talk to you tomorrow about Mondays. 2-gamer.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ethan.